I don't.
Oh, this will never. I would never put this on YouTube. Don't worry about it.
But you know, you talk to people that knew him in the business. George Cohn, I don't know if you know Big George and that. He had a sports store, and I don't know if George is still alive or not. But you don't know.
Speaking of guys, older guys, remember Fred Fuller in Indiana?
Yeah, sure.
Supposedly he's 92 years old now.
Is he still alive?
And, this guy called me up that I called you about the other day. I forget his name right now. But somebody you know too. He was the director of Sayre Park for a while.
John Dolce.
Don who?
Dolce.
No.
D-O-L-C-E.
No, this is another guy called me up because I helped him make weight when it was a meet I was running at Duncan Y, and or was it at Division Street? Yeah, it could have been. I took him down to the steam room and had him sweat it out, and then told him to put hot water on his dick in the shower and take a pee. And he made weight, and that's the story. And he calls me up after fucking 50 years to thank me for that, because he picked up on Terry's thing. But he said he could bring Fred Fuller up, and I thought it would be a great idea to get an award together. You know, pitching $10 a piece and get him an award for all that he did with the Midwest Championships and all that. The guy's 94 years old. Wouldn't he be excited? I mean, in his life to be thanked for
finally recognized.
Yeah. Well, I said it to Terry. He was cool on it. But I try to remember the guy's name. But he was lifting at a 132-pounder, small guy. He said he went on, but he's still lifting, and he's got 25,000 people signed up. He's at Sayre Park all the time.
Wow. Who's this?
The guy I'm talking about, I can't remember his name.
See the power lifter? The old Kirby? No.
I think
Olympic lifter.
Did all those Indiana and Carshoot knows him or knew him. I talked to Carshoot just a week or two ago.
How's he doing?
He's doing great. Yeah.
Anybody talked to Bill lately? Seen him?
No.
Did Rick Drayson ever get a hold of you?
I think so, yeah. He's not one of those, what do you call this stuff, your computer jargon now, where you got the combination of where you can see it, hear it, and all that.
He runs the thing called Rick's Corner. He's the guy that...
Yeah, but what do you call that iPad world, you know, when you're looking at guys...
Maybe Skype. It's
Skype.
a video interview, yeah.
And I say, every fucking day there's so much to learn about this stuff that I...
Better get used to it because, you know, it's not going away.
No, I know. I said that to myself.
I mean, one of the reasons I bought an Apple is because Apple has a one-on-one tutoring. You spend $100 a year and you can go as often as you want. Go 365 days a year if you want.
Yeah, who teaches it? A 5-year-old?
Kids, they know a hell of a lot more than I do. I mean, I go in there and most of these kids are in their 20s and they know their shit. They really do. I mean, I am very impressed. You know, they know exactly what to do and what not to do. It's more than I know. So, I can't complain. And my lady's like you. She doesn't have anything to do with it. But you've got people around you that help you. If you didn't, you'd be fucked.
Well, it's exciting for me for shopping. I mean, look at it. You can get in there and price your vitamins and all this shit. I mean, that's mind-boggling. Also, a book that you want. I recently went out. I couldn't find my copies of Bosmajian and Mackinac, which is the foundation of kinesiology. Actually makes it into a science.
You found it online.
$100. $100 is a book. And Amazon.
They've got the Sinatra.
This is the best thing going on art right now. This was the #1 bestseller when it came out 7 years ago. And this guy's business is unbelievable. You can get on his website. He's got the whole thing going.
This has nothing to do with Frank.
No. But that's why it's easy name to remember.
Try to remember.
What do they say? What else does the name remind you of? And then think of that, and then you think of that.
I think
he's talking about this.
The Sinatra solution is a little different if it involved Frank.
Well, you got to give Sinatra credit. What did he make it to? Almost 80 years old and boozing. I mean, his fucking liver must have been like a fire hydrant.
Did you guys get that email I sent out to everybody?
Yeah, I saw that. God bless America.
Yeah,
Kate Smith.
Wow.
Everything okay?
Very good. Sinatra said she was the best singer in the world or something. But wow, what a great song. But nobody sang it like Kate. You know, she got up there and...
Oh, you're right. Yeah, she had the... She was the Mario Lanza of the time.
Mario.
Excuse me.
Mario.
Nobody knows of him.
You know,
My mother took me to every one of his movies. I had to sit there.
You know, Steve Reeves was a friend of Mario.
Yeah.
And so
he had a
was,
big rib cage.
Yeah. You know, I saw something a couple times with Reeves singing. I'm not a connoisseur of music, but it wasn't bad, but it certainly wasn't good, you know.
Well, he was studying to be an actor, though, right?
Yeah. What was it? Jack London, one of the great singers, and of course Lanza was a friend of John Davis too, and Davis was a wannabe singer, you know, and he was really good.
Lanza, what beautiful.
The story was, well, him and Pete George were very close friends. Pete George was one of these Renaissance men, real ones. I mean, you know, he won the world championship when he was 18. You know, he went.
I'm seeing a snatch right now.
He had the
duck and dive.
And I think he was Bulgarian. He is Bulgarian, and very proud of it. And of course, his brother.
How is everything here?
Very nice.
Very good, thank you.
And his brother, he had a brother, Jim George, was also an Olympic medalist.
I could picture all those in strength and health as he's talking about him, but I've also seen them, you know, hanging around York at one time of my life.
But, and then he had another brother, George.
Yeah.
And I talked to him one time, I said, what is this? George, King of the Jungle? We remember George? Curious George.
You know what that makes me think of is the two brothers, the Barnholts. That's where they trained. That they learned. They had all those.
He started the squat dance.
Yeah, I was fascinated. I went over to them. I'm going to be 3-4 times just to counsel with the guy with the braids. Yeah. Oh man, what a genius in terms of analysis. I mean, I just sit there and listen.
Well, Clyde Emmerich went all the way to Akron to be in the College of American Weightlifting. They called it the College of American Weightlifting. It was a garage.
Yeah, you're right.
Larry Bonner.
Yeah, like the Weeder Research Clinic.
Lou was the intellectual, but the other guy, Larry and Lou Barnholt. One guy looked like a Jewish lawyer, this slight of build, kind of like an Arthur Jones, you know, and Larry Barnholt was a bigger guy. He was a squatter and all that other stuff.
But Clyde was saying
how brilliant on a snatch. I mean, that was like
how surprised and disappointed he was when he found out it was just a garage, you know, and not a college.
But it had a full platform in there, I remember. Did you ever go in there?
No.
It was nice. I mean, a couple of platforms for that matter. Yeah, guys are working out.
But
happy.
But I want to finish. Pete George could play the piano, and he could sing. I mean, he sang, I thought, as good as Davis. But in the 1953 World Championships, it was in Stockholm, Sweden, and Davis and Pete George just, were working out, and they were singing in between sets or in the shower or something. And U.C. Björling, the greatest singer of all time, by some U.C. Björling. He was a Swedish tenor, and he had arguably the best voice ever, too, you know. He heard them sing, and he invited them for a scholarship at his singing.